Welcome to the second Type Lab talk in the Into Data series, the future of Arabic fonts. Today, our guest speaker is going to be Francois Harik, a Lebanese creative director and educator based in Switzerland. He has more than 15 years of experience in the field of design, with a focus on motion graphics and broadcast design. Today, our guest speaker is going to talk about his latest project, Arabation, which is a plugin dedicated to animators in the fields of broadcast, advertising, and film. So, Francois, if you're ready, I think you can share your screen.
Okay. Ready? Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Hussein, for the introduction. Thank you, Bahia, for giving me this opportunity to, have a talk with Type Lab. I'm gonna introduce myself also in a very quick way. مثل ما قال حسين, I'm a creative director. Presently, I've been working with animation motion design for the past 17 years. My experience was mainly in TV stations. At the beginning, this is where animation was, and this is where I started. Since the TV stations I worked in, and most of my work إذا بقدر أقول كان بالميدل إيست area. So كان إجباري دايماً استعمل عربي بكل الانيميشنز تبعنا, أو a combination of Arabic and Latin, depends على البرنامج اللي عم نعمله. إذا كنا template جايبينها international template أو شيء, كنا مجبورين نعمل a combination of the two languages. اللي عم بتشوفوه هلا عم يمرق على screen are very old work that I've done in future TV. هلا specifically نقيت هود سبتكم القصص القديمة اللي عملتها just to show you that, أو to show إنه back then ما كان عندنا كل هالتكنولوجي الموجودة هلا. We had the TV screen that was the most advanced technology, and we had to do with it with the computers that we had back then, and we had to use whatever was available to create the animation. وعم بحكي specifically the Arabic animation. هلا مثل ما بتلاحظوا ب most of the opening sequences اللي عم بتشوفوهم هلا, الفونتس العربي منهم فونتس موجودين. What we used to do is we used to إذا بدكم create our own fonts specifically for the logos we were using, لأنه back then ما كان في enough Arabic fonts. Okay, هلا ما في enough Arabic fonts again compared to the Latin fonts موجودة بالسوق. But it was even worse back then. So it was really, we had nothing really to work with. So we had to really improvise. We had to create our own solutions, our own ways to be able to do the animations specifically for the Arabic. بتذكر حتى إنه not only for the animation, حتى بالprint it was a bit limited. كنا نستعمل Port Express, and we had to use what we called back then a dongle. بدنا نستعمل الفونتس العربي يعني ما كانوا كتير يعني. We had the choice to choose like between 5 or 6 fonts, وهذا اللي كان فينا نشتغل فيهم بوقتها. هلا أكيد القصص تطورت أكثر. We were able to, from the animation point of view, software point of view, تطورت القصص أكثر وأكثر, and we were able to do, more interesting animations. بس مثل ما بتلاحظوا إنه and most of those opening sequences the Arabic typography is still, you know, shy. It's still simple as an animation. Okay, مثلا مثل هون I tried to do or to give it like a grunge feel to it and everything, but the animation itself يعني كيف عم يظهر هيدا الفونت أو هيدا التكست وهيدا الخط على السكرين تحسه it's a bit يعني ناقصه a punch، ناقصه a boost. بس مثل ما قلت هيدا اللي كان فينا نشتغل فيه، وهذا اللي كان فينا نعمله back then. هلا going through those examples. مثلا هون it's a bit more, it's a newer, it's a bit opening sequence. أكيد بتلاحظوا إنه it's more advanced as an animation technique. بس هلا بتشوفوا بالآخر التكست العربي كيف عم ببين. بعدنا again ما في هالزخم at least personally أنا ما عم بشوفها this is enough for me تعطي العربي القيمة تبعه وتبين إذا بدكم الجمال تبع العربي ان جنرال. هون مثلا حاولت شوي 3D again بعدنا شوي هيك بنحس انه it's not really there yet. Okay. خلوني احكي كمان شوي عن مثلا هودا are some of the logos يلي منهم شفتوهم منهم لا يلي مرقوا during the movie. كمان logos we had to improvise مثل ما we had to create our own letter forms إذا فينا نسميها. Sometimes it was based على a Latin font. Sometimes it was just based on shapes. يعني it doesn't have to be on a font, so it was just based on a shape. وكنا مفروض وأنا personally يعني كنت اللي أعمله بحاول to construct letters بهود الforms اللي عندي إياهم to create some sort of interesting Arabic typography and at the same time ضلني محترم the rules of calligraphy, the rules of the Arabic Arabic script in general. هلا كمان كان دائما عم اعمل شيء باللوجوز تبعي هو انه دائما ازيد عليهم elements مثلا مثل هيدا اللوجو لانه كنت اعرف انه قد ما فوت انيميشن بالعربي ما راح اقدر كثير to go as wild as I wanted. So دائما those elements الموجودين are here to somehow back up شوي الانيميشن اللي بدي اعملها. مثلا هون في icons some gimmicks يلي حيخلوني شوي اكون free بالانيميشن. واكيد some of those logos are based on أحرف يمكن منهم كثير محترمين the Arabic calligraphy or the rules. يعني بعترف بهذا الشيء بس مثل ما قلت we had to work with whatever we had to be able to come up with something interesting. هون مثلا a combination مثل ما حكيت قبل we had to do a combination of Latin and Arabic at the same time, so we had to adapt. We had to sometimes create those Arabic letters based على the original logo مثلا هيدا كان international template. هون نرجع بنعيد قصة elements just to bring up some flair بالanimation بعدين. هلا this was some part of the work I did. بعدين بلشت قصص كثير interesting لما كنا بفيوتشر تي في and it was the opening of the new channel the Future News بتذكر and I proposed to create a font, an Arabic font specifically for Future TV. كنا نستعمل for English كنا نستعمل الفيتورا. So I based myself على الفيتورا to construct إذا بدكم font بكون a font properly used for Future TV ما بنلاقي غير محل. وبتذكر انه كنت من اول الديزاينرز اللي فكروا بهذا الشيء باك ذن. ما كان هيدا الشيء كتير ان هلا definitely كله كتير ان، بس نعمل براند، بس نعمل نشتغل تي في ستيشن، تي في تشانل، دائما لازم يكون في انجلش، عم بحكي بالميدل ايست انجلش، لاتن، او معه Arabic font، يكونوا properly designed لهيدا الشانل وما يكون فينا نلاقيهم من مكان. So for me that was something very interesting to do. هون بلشت اكثر واكثر فوت بقصص اكثر interesting. للاسف انه ما قدرت عملت غير the bold version of this font لانه ما كان عندي enough budget بوقتها تكفي واعمل the whole family، مع انه كنت بلشت to design them، بس it was very costly بوقتها نعمل هيك لانه ما كان في مثل هلا the software where you can just do your fonts easily. It wasn't that easy. بعدين through time I started to get more interested in Arabic fonts in general. بلشت to create my own fonts. fonts عم بحكي انه as in the whole font family. مثلا هيدا الفونت كان I created the whole family تقريبا. And I've never went public with this. It's still something on a personal basis. So بستعمله بكتير projects لإلي personally. This was done from scratch. So ما كان based على it was mostly based على كتير fonts اشتغلتهم لللوجوز, but it wasn't based on a Latin font. So بلشت اشتغل فيه, بستعمله كتير بprojects تبعي هلا. Again on a personal basis ما كتير I didn't go public with it. وبعده منه كتير final. There are still some mistakes that need to be corrected. I started with another font كمان. حبيت اطلع شوي إذا بدكم افتح شوي العربي typography تتنفس شوي. So I created this font. هيدا منه خالص أبدا. So just it's still on the very basic sketching level. كمان another font. Taking it more into the very sharp edges. كمان trying to create something. بس بتلاحظوا انه whether this one or this one بتلاحظوا انه بعدني على the baseline اللي هو جامد اذا بدكم, just one baseline which is usually used for Latin not for Arabic. يعني Arabic بيطلع بينزل. بس again مثل ما حكيت بالاول طبيعه شغلي الانيميشن دائما ما حقول دائما بس most of the time I'm trying to combine Arabic with Latin. So كانت شوي complicated مشان هيك نقيت to stay on this. بس أكيد still on the sketching level, so قصص ممكن تتطور أكثر. Lately what I have been working on actually is something very very experimental. So بلشت يعني الانسبريشن تبعي كان خط القيروان. بحب هذا الخط بس yet the way it's represented منه كتير فظيع, في كتير mistakes, في كتير visually مشاكل بالcurves وهالقصص. so نقيت انه انا to take it a step further وبلشت اشتغل على some of the letters. بس اللي نقيت اعمله بهيدا الفونت in specific is not to go into يعني اذا بدكم it's mostly a display font, so it's not there to write words or to write text for sure, but to do some artworks. مثل بلشت شوي اشتغل حتى sometimes to break a little bit الأحرف, حط حرف بدل ما يكون very very إذا بدكم combine مع الثاني. لا حاولت إنه أعمله أكثر in an artistic calligraphic way to do some artistic things بلا ما فوت بالlegibility writing really specific words. حتى فتت استعملته تنعمل tattoos which has been done يعني. And then some just try to do artworks experimenting with it وتشوف كيف ممكن to push it a bit further. So very quickly, you know, my story with animation and with Arabic script in general. وتلاحظوا إنه for me this is not only work. It's not only something that I do as a daily job. It's something more of passion for me to work with Arabic calligraphy, with Arabic fonts, to push it, you know, to try to push it a bit further. A key day, you would see my frustration, my utmost frustration when I see something like this. And this is a screenshot from a trailer of a blockbuster movie in 2016. The movie is The Arrival. But the way the Arabic fonts is misrepresented. عم نحكي واللي بيقهر زيادة إنه the Arrival or the movie The Arrival was actually based on a story where an alien race actually gifts us their language, their letters. وبنفس الوقت عم نعمل هالغلطة. For me, it's not acceptable, and it's really frustrating to see that you know, Arabic has been so misrepresented. It has been plagued with many cultural limitations. ورح بلش ب a very simple example. ابن مقلص geometrical system of proportions. يعني هو 10th century. It's based on Arabic letters that are confined within a grid with a circular grid, okay, and based on the dots. But the basic is a circle. Okay, this is the way it has been created. But هلا what we're trying to do is we're trying to fit those Arabic letters within the EM square اللي هي proper for Latin script اللي اجت بال 15th century. Okay, this is what Titus Nemeth, a very known type designer, calls Latinization. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to force on the Arabic letter forms whatever works for Latin, whatever is for Latin, without taking into consideration morphologies or rules or واللي صار مع الوقت انه those cultural political limitations went beyond and it actually hit the technological part. And this is why فترة كثير طويلة بقينا بلا Arabic fonts, proper Arabic fonts. Okay, now it's changing with lots of type designers from the Arab countries, حتى من إيران، من لبنان، بنشوف من مصر كثير عم بيحاولوا to fix this and to try to get out of it. بس المشكل إنه all those limitations اللي مرقوا through the history كثير أثروا على هذا الشيء specifically بالتكنولوجيا. هلا مزبوط the Arabic font has its own specificities. إنه it is cursive, the letters change form depending on their position within the word. فعندنا a letter that may take different forms. والمشكل إنه most of the existing animation tools on the market are created to work with Latin script, not with Arabic. يعني إذا بدنا نستعمل مثلا After Effects text presets, نلاقوا شو بس. The Arabic letters are broken. It's not acceptable. It's not grammatically ولا aesthetically correct. وهون مثلا it's an After Effects template اللي فينا نشتريها على الإنترنت that we can use. It's in 2018. Still the same problem. The Arabic letters are broken. وحتى يعني ما في an effort. بتشوفوا إنه the fonts used are very geometric with a very little animation done to them. يعني ما في شيء interesting. ما في شيء نقول إنه واو. Yes, I can use it on a daily basis, but it's not something that that I want to see anymore with Arabic. هلا lots of designers, lots of scholars حاولوا كتير to find solutions. Nasr Khattar, 1947, created what he called unified Arabic type with letters that do not attach to each other to form the words. Okay, great. It solved a solution, that's for sure. لأنه صار فينا نحط Arabic letter forms حد بعض. Maybe in this way, if I use the After Effects preset text مثلا, oh, it works perfectly. But yet, how many rules did we break with this? وشلنا كل الجمالية تبع العربيc type اللي, you know, the letters link together to form those nice words, this nice typography, this nice elegance and calligraphy. كلهم راح. Another way to find a solution was with the Unicode اللي هو done by Bigelow and Holmes in 1993. كمان Microsoft, they wanted to somehow unify all the fonts together. وهون المشكلة الأكبر إنه it was unifying not only the Latin and Arabic, but Latin, Arabic, and all the non-Latin fonts into this sort of what we call Unicode. Again, it's forcing whatever we have rules for Latin script into the Arabic and even other non-Latin fonts. On the opposite side of the spectrum is the Techotype, a plugin called Tasmim, designed by Thomas Milo in 2006. In this plugin, interesting thing is that you can actually really move every single letter that you can see here to create your own calligraphic composition. Very interesting the way it has been done. Thomas Milo is, although he's not an, he is not from Arab origins, but he has been working a lot on trying to, push further the Arabic typography and try to correct all the mistakes that have, been done through the history. The only problem with this plugin is that it is a plugin done for to use in design, so to use in print, and it's not used for animation. So فيني أعمل هيدا composition بس ما فيني روح further than this, so it stops here. هلا, like those designers and scholars, I wanted to create my own solution. I wanted to find some sort of solution for this. Okay, and when I started my research اللي كتير كان interesting بالنسبة لي, مش بس حتى interesting و somehow magical بالنسبة لي, هو this ability of letters in general. ما عم بحكي بس عن العربي, بحكي عن عربي, Latin, non-Latin. This way of إذا بدكم having always those two aspects, the verbal aspect and the shape aspect. Okay, يعني a letter is a letter, yes. When you write a word with it, it reads as a word, whether بالعربي ولا بالإنجليش, the French, ما بتفرق. بس كمان at the base تنعمل هيدا اللتر عم نشتغل نحن بشيبس. So دايما فيها duality في letter, language that's forming a language, but at the same time this letter is formed out of shapes. وإذا بتلاحظوا مثلا كتير أيام بس نطلع على designs معمولين ب Chinese or the Japanese, we like them. We say, wow, it's a nice design. مع إنه ما فهمين شو مكتوب. ما بنعرف if the designer has used the appropriate font for this poster أو لا. لأنه بالنهاية what we are seeing, what we are judging visually are the shapes. وبنشوف إنه هول shapes, they are nice. They are well combined with the shapes بقلب البوستر مثلا, with the colors and everything. So كلهم عم بيمشوا كتير منيح مع بعض, بس ما عم نقدر نقرا. يعني ما نحن عم نقدر نقرا. So دغري we went into the basic part of it, which is the shape. وهيدا بالنسبة لي كتير مهم, لأنه يعني بمرحلة وين بنشوف الحرف كشيب, كابستراكت شيب, كل اللينغويستيك complications, كل اللينغويستيك limitations, كله بيروح, كله بيختفي, لأنه ما عم بتطلع على هذا الشيء, عم بتطلع على letter as a shape. And this is where the letter becomes free. بالنسبة لي شوفها أنه it's freedom for the letter when we judge it as a shape but not as a letter. So كل هالlinguistic part of it، كل هالcomplications اللي حواليها especially بالعربي typography، كل هالhistory، كل هالlimitations كلهم بيختفوا لانه خلص عم نشوفها as a shape. And from this point, what I did is I did a small project. So it was an application, processing application, انعملت with programming, and this is where I put, قلدت نصر خطار شوي. So I took the Arabic font, I created the Arabic font على السريع, and what I did is I've put the letters Atashi. Okay, but for me this was not creating a font, or this was not trying to create a solution for the Arabic calligraphy. لا هلا بتشوفوا لي. I picked quote من رومي: لا تشعر أنك لوحدك فالكون بأكمله في داخلك. And I translated it into English: don't feel lonely, the entire universe is inside you. What I try to do here is في عندي مثل sort of sliders اللي فيني استعملهم. إذا بستعمل هذا السلايدر, what it does is it rotates the letters. So كل letter will be rotated. Okay. Other sliders will be interesting to see in the sense of فيني أعمل zoom in, zoom out the letters تبعي on the screen. I can actually also do them as lines, just to see also would be interesting to see. At this point إذا أنا بشوف الكومبوزيشن تبعي بهذا الشكل أو بهذا الشكل حتى. Okay. What I'm actually seeing are all the letters combined together. Okay. وكلهم معمل لهم إذا بدكم rotation in a way إنه إذا بجي بتطلع فيهم I cannot make the difference between a letter that is written in Arabic or a letter that is written in English. ما بعرف, ما بقدر أشوف. Okay. لأنه كل اللي عم بيصير عم بعمل لهم روتيشن. بس عملت لهم روتيشن اللي صار في عندي an abstract shape إذا بدكم for me. ولا هلا صار فينا أقراهم. بس قبل when I go really completely abstract ما عندي فرق بقى. يعني صار كل إذا بدكم all the languages, all the letters are became all on the same level, which is the shape level. So هون بلشت قصص تصير interesting for me, لأنه بلشت أقول إنه okay يعني يعني ما في language أقوى من language, ما في letters أقوى من letters. They're all the same. إذا بنجيبهم وبنحطهم كلهم on the إذا بدكم على the abstract form. So هون what happened to me is that let's be honest, كنا بس دايما كان بس يكون في عندي project of animation and I had to animate Arabic typography. It was always a nightmare for me. عندي Arabic typography to animate. Whenever I had in English, French, it was easy. Oh great, I can do whatever I want with this. And والصراحة هذا الشيء كان كثير يضايقني نفسيا, لأنه as a designer, as an Arab designer مش مفروض أقول هذا الشيء. مفروض حاول المستحيل إنه ما يكون في عندي إذا بدكم inferiority بالlevel. عندي English دونك فين أعمل animation أحلى, وهون عندي عربي gonna do just fade in fade out وبيمشي الحال. هون this sort of application, this sort of an experimentation خلوني اقوى شوي اقول انه لا, there is a solution. لانه عم بوصل لمحل where I'm being able to have all the letters typically the same إذا فينا نقول. وهون إذا بدكم خلقت Arabation. What is Arabation? Arabation for me personally is a novel and multidisciplinary concept to modernize and empower the Arabic script, according it a stronger presence on digital media platforms. So the future is digital screens, and this is where we want to go. This is where we want to see the Arabic typography more and more. وبس احكي عن a multidisciplinary concept or approach. What I mean about it is that the Arabic letter forms have the possibility, or can, if you want, borrow characteristics from several writing systems, from different design and art practices يلي فينا ناخذهم او فينا نستعملهم to enhance their ability to animate. So this is why I use this multidisciplinary approach. And actually, it all started with the dervish dancer. Okay, so ليش the dervish dancer? Again, it's multidisciplinary. So قررت بلش ب certain artistic way, which is the dance. هلا the إذا بدكم the dervish dance, it's a dance that was created by جلال الدين الرومي وشمس التبريزي in the 13th century. The dance is just a dancer, rotating around himself. It's a meditation dance. This is what has been said about it. And the interesting part of it is that it was usually compared to the rotation of the planets around the sun. And it was also been given lots of spiritual meanings, specifically with the hands of the dervish, they're relating the earth to the heavens. So this whole magical thing, happening, this relation is happening. Again, I go back, earth, heavens, I go back to the letter and shape. Those two duality يلي موجودين already بقلب اللتر. By studying the motion of the dervish, like the circular motion of the dervish, I created and I conceived what I call the spiral unit. All right, the spiral unit for me is the shape that we talked about. So this is the shape that will help me free the Arabic letters or the letters in general. And using this spiral unit, I started to construct all the letter forms. And since I have some sort of a unit system, this unit system gave me all the flexibility needed to animate and also to morph my letters into their different shapes within a word. العربي بغير شكل. وهون what I did is I came up with based على هيدا unit, spiral unit, I came up with 3 different typographic styles: تطواف, تجلي, متجاذب. So whirl, infer, and gravity, all related to different characteristics of the dance. يعني تطواف هي the usual rotation or the circular movement of the dervish dancer. تجلي, it's representing the skirt, how it changes forms through the dance and how it interacts with the body of the dancer. وبالآخر التجاذب يلي هو the movement of the planets. إذا بدكم the movement of the planets, I research a study that has been done, the way it has been done, وجمعت هيدا الشيب إذا بدكم of the movement of the planets with the shape of the spiral to get what I had. وبالآخر, after doing all of this, the result was the Arabation plugin. Okay, so the Arabation plugin is actually a plugin that offers one-of-a-kind solution اللي مش موجودة قبل, that boosts the quality of the Arabic script animations, allowing the creation of more original, more elaborate, more sophisticated Arabic designs, Arabic script designs and animations at the same time, while still respecting the calligraphic elegance and unity of the Arabic script. Palama, to kill all the grammatical rules of the Arabic script. هلا شو كان هدفي من هذا البلجن؟ هدفي من هذا البلجن كان مش بس لاقي سولوشن. اوكي لقينا السولوشن، بس كان كمان هدفي شغله مهمه is to empower the Arab animators. Okay, by providing them with a tool, with a plugin that can save them hours and hours of lengthy manual maneuvers. لأنه هلا إذا بدي أعمل animation Arabic font to be able to make it interesting, I really need to work it manually حرف بحرفه to get the best result. لأنه ما فيني استعمل any plugin or any preset موجود لأنه ما حيعطيني result اللي أنا بحسه شوي mediocre. منه up to the level of the Arabic calligraphy, of the beauty of the Arabic letters. هلا بنفس الوقت it's gonna save time، بس نفس الوقت حيعطينا a very modern edge, a very artistic edge to our letters. هلا اللي عم بتشوفوه is a prototype of the plugin، ومثل ما شايفين it's a user-friendly interface based on sliders. وهود السلايدرز بنحركهم to change and to get interesting interesting ways. The fact that you have sliders makes it highly customizable. It gives us lots of interesting results مثل ما عم بتشوفوا بهود examples. So you can experiment with it in an endless way to get what you want. هلا بعدين حنشوف through the presentation بالاخر we will try it a little bit and see try it live and see what it can give us as a result. بعدين هون مثلا the examples عم تشوفون هون they're also made with this sort of a plugin, but combined with images, combined with إذا بدكم footage تشوف كيف those or this plugin sits or works with for example here we've used some sort of very fast typographic animation to get the hang of it and see how this works. هلا Arabtation ما رح يكون بس plugin. This is for sure. بالأول it's a concept. That's for sure. It's a concept that مثل ما حكينا will modernize and will empower the Arabic script. بس حد يعني بس إذا بدكم مع البلجن يلي حيكون موجود to be used by animators رح يكون كمان next to it workshops. Okay, and those workshops will be given إذا بدكم to celebrate the beauty of the Arabic letter forms and how to enhance their presence on digital platforms. أكيد while using the plugin, that's for sure. And those workshops will be dedicated to animators, will be dedicated to designers, typographers, even to make this plugin more visible, and at the same time for people to be able to use it and to know how to use it. ومع هودي الworkshops أكيد حيكون في part of Arabation that will be إذا بدكم some sort of a consultancy service that will be provided to organizations, to individuals, through which we will create customized Arabic fonts. بس هود Arabic fonts ما حيكونوا بس customized for print purposes or for إذا بدكم for print applications. But what will happen is that they will be also able to animate to use them on digital applications later. Honey, what you are seeing is the Instagram account dedicated for Arabtations. بقلبه موجودين all the animations I've worked on so far using this plugin, so it's very experimental. I've tried so different ways, so many things to see what's how it's gonna work. وحتى it's you can see that one of the animations I worked on is again this combination of Latin and Arabic. لأنه ما حنتخبى وراء أصبعنا ونقول إنه حستعمل بس عربي. دايما في يعني أصلا the Middle East countries دايما فيهم هالخلطة الحلوة، دايما في English French وعربي بنفس الوقت. So هون ماني مضطر بقى إنه يعني using this plugin or this way of animation ماني مضطر بقى أعتل هم إنه is the form of the Arabic letters بيشبهوا ال form of the Latin أو العكس. ما كتير فرقني معي لأنه the way it's animated the way it's based on the spiral unit ما عاد عندي هالcomplication. هلا صارفين نطلع فيهم حتى لو كانوا completely two different fonts لأنه they're treated in the same way. رح نشوفهم كتير بيشبهوا بعض. And they will sit together in a nice way. كمان Arabation has a website. Hopefully, in the future, it will be a website to sell this plugin once it's done. In this website, كمان بتشوفوا إنه I'm highlighting all the things that Arabation is. So workshops, consultancy services, online support. وحتى فيكم تفوتوا if you go up there, okay, you have also a way to try the plugin. So if you click on try plugin, you will go into a certain form that you need to fill in. هيك تاخذ تكون عندي إذا بدكم information عنكم. And here you will be able, after filling the form, بتروحوا على مثل ما شفنا بالشوي من الموفي بتروحوا على the Arabation prototype where you can try it out and see what it does. Speaking of which, let's go to this إذا بدكم Arabation plugin أو it's still a prototype. Okay, بتلاحظوا هون في عندي already preset letters موجودين that I can zoom in, zoom out. I can also move into 3D space if I want to see my letter into 3D space, which is also something cool. What I have are مثلا عندي letters موجودين هون that I can play around with. I have also words بس كمان خلطت شوي يعني حتى هون since I'm on the experimental level حتى حطيت Latin typography to see how it works with Latin typography as well. It works really really nicely to be honest. هون في عنا another word بالعربي. Okay, and then like I said, it's just a matter of just changing the sliders, playing around with the sliders. Okay, so to be able to to get interesting results, it can be I can go really crazy with creating things. I can change colors, to get some interesting stuff with the font itself. Zoom in, zoom out. حتى في نغير the background color. So didn't get more interesting maybe color حسب الانيميشن تبعنا. So you can see that it's very flexible. It's very intuitive. يعني كل شيء عم غير. Just simple sliders that will give me some interesting results. وفيني أروح very 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 minimal. If I want to go very minimal, create something it's what's more legible with this one. This prototype, if you want, you can experiment with it personally. If you go to the website, like I said, you try the plugin and you can play around with it. للأسف إنه لحد هلا you cannot write your own words or letters. They're all preset letters موجودين. Plus, it's a start, and then we'll see how to carry it through. حتى فيني غير the whole shape. ولحديت هلا بالبلجن prototype what I've done is I've used only one typographic style, which is the first one, which is the word, you know, just the spiral shape. ما استعملت أكثر من هيك. لأنه it was مثل ما حكيت, it's just a testing period, after which we should be creating the actual plugin. But at the same time, what I liked about this tool, يعني مع إنه هي prototype, بس what it can help me do is I can use it as يعني أنا بسميه إذا بدكم performance application. يعني فيني مثلا استعمل هالapplication to change the words, to play around with them and to project them, for example, on buildings and exhibitions, where every, you know, the changes that I do with the Arabic typography happens automatically. I can write any word I want, play around with it, and people can see that it's changing live. And this would be interesting. وحتى فينا, if we don't want to change the sliders manually, we can connect them to a dancer, to a performer, to music مثلا. والmusic هي بتصير بتغير هود الsliders إذا بدكم, and then it can create some interesting results يلي منن إذا بدكم منن controlled. نحن مش عم نعملهم كنترول، يعني في يكونوا controlled by the dancer، كيف عم يبرم، كيف عم يرقص، أو كيف عم ترقص، you know, and then to make it you know, to make it more interesting. It can also be used, for example, إذا عم نحكي ما بعرف something very in now, screens بالجامعات مثلا. We have screens and we announce to the students things happening or events happening. It could be done with this, so we can have إذا بدكم this application, you know, نكتب تغير العربيك font، عم نغير فيه، عم نعطيه some sort of interesting animation, interesting look that fits the event that we are advertising. So this also could be interesting. هلا إذا عم نحكي شوي for the future، شو فينا نعمل for the future is that, okay, we started now with the Dervish dancer, but that doesn't mean that later on we cannot use, for example, the Oriental dance, الرقص الشرعي. والstudy of the motion الرقص الشرعي ممكن يودينا لغير sort of a unit. ممكن ناخذ الباليه ويودينا لغير sort of unit اللي كمان فينا نستعملها you know, to create إذا بدنا كمان another way of representing those letters. ومثل ما حكينا, since it works on Latin and on Arabic, ما عاد عندي مشكلة إنه you know, I need to be careful with the fonts and etc. صار فينا العربي نعمل الفونت، نستعمل الفونت اللي بدنا إياه without it being on a, you know, on a unified baseline. And to animate it you know, using this technique. هلا, so this is it. What we will see in this specific movie are some of the experimentations I worked on during the last year, كمان to show the capabilities of this plugin and what it can do, and how many possibilities we have to move those Arabic fonts and to animate those Arabic letter fonts. We will be able to watch them while I think if you can open the way for the questions.
Okay.
أنا من جهتي خلصت presentation, whatever I have to say.
Okay, thank you. That was very informative. Now we'll move into the Q&A part. If anyone has a question, they can raise their hand and ask it, or they can just type it in the text box, in the chat box.
في عندنا حدا typed it in the chat box, I think.
They are saying
thank you.
maybe I can ask a question until people think of something they can they want to ask about. I have actually two questions. The first question, I wanted to know plugin is Arabtation is compatible with what softwares? Is it like compatible with After Effects? Is it compatible with XD or Photoshop? What kind of softwares is it compatible with? This is the first question. The second question is, if a designer wants to like invent or create a plugin as you did you like study a bit of CS, or did you like collab with a programmer? What did you do to like construct Arabation?
Okay, the first question, yeah, as a start, Arabation will be created for a plugin will be created for After Effects as a start. بس بعدين حتروح قصص أكبر وأكبر يعني. حبلش After Effects ليه؟ لأنه it's one of the most used and accessible animation software on the market. بعدين probably it will be done for Premiere, for Unity, Unreal Engine, and I'm فوت أكتر كمان into the gaming world where we can also integrate the Arabic. لأنه لحد هلا بالgaming world ما في عربي، أو إذا في شيء كتير قليل وبيكون كمان هيك very shy. So I want to go into this sort of realm of the game realm. So this is something that I really want to do. هلا بس أكيد step by step. هلا for designing a plugin, this is the problem. I haven't designed the plugin yet, للأسف. And this is mainly because of two reasons. The first one is that to be able to design or to create a plugin, you need language for programming called C++. And C++ is something few people know, especially programmers that work on software design. And those people are mostly taken by the big software industry. I'm talking about Adobe, the giant. And to find them, it's really, really rare. And to be able to create a simple plugin, لأنه أنا كان فكرتي إنه to do two different formats of this plugin. الواحدة اللي هو الفورمات كتير basic with a few options, and another one which is more pro and has more options to it. So to create the basic format, it's already very expensive to do this. You know, I'm نحكي thousands of dollars. منه شيء بنحله ب $1000 و $2000. It's something really, it's a big project, especially that my idea. I don't know how to program. I program very little. Something على قد وأقل كمان. But to do plugins, you need really very talented programmers and very experienced programmers. وبنفس الوقت أنا اللي حابب أعمله إنه introducing كل القصص that I talked about فوقهم هودي كلهم. On top of them, I wanted to add also AI. So كان بدي يكون في algorithms عم يتحكموا with the way the typography is moving. لأنه كمان كان بدي إنه هالبلجن يقدر يحلل شو عندي animation, شو عندي images, and to suggest a way or a better way to animate the Arabic letters. So كمان أنا عقدتها شوي, but this is what I want because this is the future. ما في شيء هلا بلا algorithms بلا AI. So it will be able to كمان بعد يهين أكثر وأكثر the job of the animators. ومش بس يهين the job, كمان يقدر هالalgorithm to analyze every font that you want to use, because it will be used on any font. So we'll be able to analyze those fonts to know هالfont كيف معمول, how are the letters treated, إذا في ligatures أو لا, what are the letters that are related together وما فيني أقصهم عن بعض وما فيني بعدهم عن بعض. So كله هيدا بده يكون مدروس تقدر أوصل ل animation that is grammatically correct. ما حقبل أقل من هيك. هلا بهي سألت شغلة
Yeah.
how could my plugin sit with ما بعرف شو كنت
how would you use your plugin with variable fonts?
اوكي ما كثير خصهم ببعض كفاريبل fonts وكانيميشن لانه variable fonts is something that is more gives you flexibility specifically for the print side. أنا اللي عم بحكي عنه يعني إذا بدك بهي what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do the twin of the variable fonts but in animation. So you have this wide flexibility but in animation not in print. هلا اللي بشوفه أنا for variable fonts للعربي عم بحكي in specific ما بشوف انه ال variable fonts for Arabic should stop على انه اوكي بس اشتري فونت يعني عم بشتري hairline going to extreme or extra bold or black. يعني العربي has more to offer than the Latin اوكي فين اعمل هذا الشيء يعني it's enough بس بالعربي I think ال variable fonts لازم يروحوا اكثر ل كيف فينا نتحكم بالكشيدة مثلا by using the variable font كيف فيني اتحكم بالليجتشرز تبعي كيف فيني اغير يعني فيني اعمل فونت يلي that has lots of ligatures وفيني هول ligatures غيرهم to choose the style using the variable technique if I dare say so ان شاء الله كل هالتايب ديزاينرز عم يشتغلوا هلا on the on modernizing the Arabic typography نروحوا لهذا المجال. I think that variable technique has a lot of positive sides للعربي أكثر من اللاتن. هيدا البيرسون اللي بشوفه أنا لأنه في عنا قصص بالعربي فيها تتغير كتير أكثر من اللاتن وفينا نستعمل نستخدم مثل ما قلت variable technique تنعمل هذا الشيء.
Okay, I guess that's it. Thank you, Francois, really. I hope we can see someday Arabic type really in the video game. It would be interesting. I've never seen it. And thank you everyone for attending and good night.